Every time I leave Dubai during those dawn hours, when the sky has that pinkish hue to it, I get almost nostalgic, remembering old days working for Emirates Airline, having to show up to work at these kinds of hours. When I think about it, sometimes I can't believe it's been 10 years since I quit. Time flies. In some of my previous videos, I mentioned that I once lived in the Dominican Republic for half a year. And someone I knew there once asked me if I'd ever been to Panama. When I said no, they insisted that I should go there one day, saying I would absolutely love it. Since then, Panama has always been at the back of my mind as a must-visit destination. This year, I decided to make it happen, along with visits to 2 other countries in the Caribbean. Can I just say that Panama doesn't get the credit it deserves, at least in my opinion. Panama City alone is such a fascinating mix of old and new, nature and urban life. It's the only capital city in the world with a rainforest right in its city limits, which gives it this rare blend of cityscape and jungle vibes. Just imagine, you could be walking among skyscrapers one moment and spotting monkeys and tropical birds the next. Panama City is also incredibly diverse. People from over 100 nationalities live here, and this gives the city a vibrant, unique atmosphere that you won't find anywhere else in Central America. One thing that sets it apart is its deep history as a crossroads. Due to strategic location of Panama City, it's been a major hub for trade and culture for centuries, even before the canal existed. And speaking of the canal, I simply couldn't imagine my stay here without enjoying a view of it from my room. That's why I chose Radisson as my first place to stay in the city. It's located right along the banks of Panama Canal, and I especially loved the quiet early mornings there when I would sit on my balcony for a good hour or two watching the ships pass through. A unique sight in itself. From here I could also see the Bridge of the Americas, an iconic part of Panama's skyline and a symbol of country's strategic importance, not just for its role in the canal, but also as a connector of the Americas. Alright, so the plan for today is to first head to Albrook Mall, the closest mall to where I'm staying, mainly for 2 reasons. To check the bus schedule to Boquete, my next destination in Panama, and because it's a convenient way to reach the Panama Canal. Oh, and I also need to pick up a local SIM card. Albrook Mall is pretty basic as malls go, but it's also the main bus terminal in the city. If you're planning to travel around Panama, this is a central hub where all the buses depart. I also found out that they don't sell tickets in advance, you can only buy them, let's say, a day before departure. So what I did, I just took a photo of the schedule and arrived 45 minutes before my bus, and I had no problem getting a ticket. To get to the Panama Canal from Albrook Mall, I hopped on the C810 bus, which took me straight to the Miraflores locks. Of course, I could have taken an Uber, but where is the fun in that? I wanted to see how the locals live and commute. And guys, there is an actual cinema right at the visitor center, and I would definitely recommend watching the movie first before heading up to the observation platform. It is beautifully made, very informative, and narrated by Morgan Freeman.
Outside the Amazon. Vegetation blankets even the volcanic mountains.
The Panama Canal is a constructed waterway that connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans across the Isthmus of Panama. It uses a unique lock system which lifts ships 26 meters above sea level to allow them to pass through the Continental Divide. These locks work like giant water elevators, and the canal's Gatun Lake, which is an artificial lake created to aid in ship passage, is also one of the largest man-made lakes in the world. These locomotives that you see pull the ship in case it goes too much to the right or to the left, keeping it in the middle of the chamber. Panama Canal remains one of the busiest waterways in the world, with about 40 vessels passing through daily. It often operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to keep up with demand. On average, it takes about 10 hours for a ship to get from one ocean to the other, and it's also quite pricey. For a standard commercial vessel, fees are typically between $50,000 and $100,000. However, for larger, new Panamax ships, it can cost anywhere from $300,000 to over $500,000 for a single transit. The canal even has a special rate for smaller vessels and yachts, starting around a couple of $1,000s. But large cruise ships or tankers can expect to pay much more. I guess I can consider myself lucky because when I was there, a US naval ship was passing through. Let me tell you, I've never seen anything like it in my life, and so close up. The ship was enormous and I loved how everyone was waving at each other. It was such a sweet moment. Good morning, guys. Today is another gloomy day, just like the one yesterday, so I thought it would be a perfect chance to get some exercise. For that, I headed to Ancon Hill, the highest point in the city, which offers incredible panoramic views of the Panama Canal, the city skyline, and Casco Viejo, the historic district. I took an Uber to the base of the hill, and from there it's about a 30-minute walk up a paved road to the summit. The hill is a protected nature reserve, and you can see many locals and tourists hike to the top for the views and the chance to experience a bit of Panama's native wildlife. In fact, if you are lucky, you might even catch a glimpse of a toucan or a sloth along the trail. As you climb, the lower slopes are dotted with residences, but the higher you go, the more you forget you're even in the city. There are a few openings in the forest that offer expansive unobstructed views of Amador Causeway, Casco Viejo, and the Cinta Costera. I would say in many ways they're superior to those at the top. After the hike, I returned to the base and took a taxi to the BioMuseo. By this point, it looked like it might rain any minute, so I figured it would be best to be indoors just in case. The museum tells the fascinating story of how Panama's formation 3 million years ago connected North and South America, sparking a massive exchange of species and creating one of the most significant events in ecological history. This continental bridge led to a huge mix of wildlife and had a profound impact on global biodiversity. The other day I went to explore the ruins of Panama Viejo, the first European settlement on the Pacific coast of the Americas. These ruins tell stories of pirate invasions and colonial trade, giving the city a unique layer of history that you can literally walk through. One of the most striking parts of Panama Viejo is the old cathedral tower still standing tall over the ruins. Unfortunately, climbing it wasn't possible when I visited, which was a shame because from the top you would get this amazing view of Panama City's modern skyline rising up behind the historic stone walls. It's like seeing Panama's past and future all in one glance. The museum showcases the early days of Spanish colonization, offering a look into what life was like centuries ago. This ancient city was a bustling trade hub where treasures from South America passed through on their way to Spain, making it incredibly wealthy, and a prime target for pirates. In 1671, the pirate Henry Morgan attacked and looted Panama Viejo. The city was set on fire, leaving it in ruins, which ultimately led to the relocation of Panama City to its current site in Casco Viejo. There is something truly captivating about wandering through the remains, imagining the lives of people who lived, traded, and defended the spot over 400 years ago. And on top of that, I really enjoyed the nature here, especially those stunning trees. After Panama Viejo, I headed down to the Vista district, famous for its beautiful waterfront promenade, the Cinta Costera. The area is perfect for walking, jogging or cycling, and you'll see plenty of people doing sports, while enjoying those beautiful views of the Pacific Ocean and the city's skyline. I would say that this area truly captures the essence of Panama City as a hub of culture and progress. Good morning, guys. These are my last moments of enjoying the views at this property, all because we are moving to Casco Viejo, my favorite area in the entire city. The only part I don't like about moving is packing. I don't know what it is about me and my suitcases, but it seems like I can never get everything to fit back in, and they always look like they're about to explode. Do you guys have the same issue, or is it just me? Let me know. Before I go, I wanted to take one last walk around the hotel to show you a bit more on the grounds. There is a pool facing the ocean, but I hardly ever use pools. I always prefer the natural water instead. In Casco Viejo, I stayed at a small boutique hotel called Villa Palma. It has a perfect location and I just loved everything about this place. Right across is Sofitel Legend, a stunning luxury hotel. Its vibrant past, characterized by flamboyance and a celebration of life, even inspired a James Bond film shot there in 2008. One of the coolest things about Casco Viejo is its contrast. Crumbling ruins sit right next to beautifully restored buildings, and the charm is in that mix of old and new. Casco's rooftops, for example, are dotted with rooftop bars and terraces like the one at my hotel, where you can sit and watch skyscrapers light up across the bay. That blend of colonial charm and modern luxury makes it feel like you're moving between worlds in the same city. And if you're into art and design, you will definitely fall in love with this neighborhood. By this point, I was really craving some of my favorite food, and I found a nearby restaurant that had exactly what I needed. I'm talking about hummus and falafel, right? I definitely overestimated my appetite because I couldn't even finish half of it, and ended up taking the rest to go. I love the energy of Casco Viejo so much that I spent hours just walking around the neighborhood, taking it all in. This city has definitely become one of my favorites, and in the next episodes you will see why. You know that feeling when you've just arrived somewhere new, but you instantly feel a connection? That's how it was for me here. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed exploring Panama City with me, and I can't wait to see you again. Take care, like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you've ever been here or if you live here, and what's your favorite thing about this city. Talk to you soon. Bye!